You talk about work ethic. Like, talk me through what training looks like for you as a professional. Obviously, people can imagine, the boxing montage is hitting the bag, moving around, sparring, pad work. But I'm certain there's a lot of elements to your training. What does that actually look like?
Well, I'll give you a rundown of yesterday, for example. So up at 4 a.m., you know, quick shower, quick little snack to eat. Get to the gym. We start at 5. Gym's only down the road, so it's not too bad. But start at 5. Do just over an hour of boxing. So that's a lot of our stuff. Was that morning was we do a fair bit of our straight punching on a crash mat. So the big crash mats, you actually have to punch through them. So it's really good for straight shots. You start to learn to punch through your target, and that's something we utilise a lot of. And so we mix that in with our bag work, and done that for, like I said, just over an hour in the morning, and then have a quick break, and then we start again at 7 a.m. So we do another mixture of another almost hour of boxing, and then it was about 40 minutes of conditioning. Go back to the gym in the afternoon, and it was another hour of conditioning with another hour and a half of boxing, and then I'd do a walk after dinner. So then you just fit your recovery and all that sort of stuff in between during the day. And but yeah, that was yesterday. So it was like, I think, almost 6 hours of training, pretty much.
How many calories you eat?
Fair bit. I eat a fair bit. So I've got a nutritionist I work with, Jack Doherty, a combat dietitian. So he's real good. He just tells me what to have, when to have it, and I just follow the plan. But I don't know how many calories it would be, but it'd be a fair bit. Like, I'm
putting some food away for all that training.
100%. I'm doing 5-6 meals a day, so it's good eating, and the weight's starting to fall off. So it's all steadily tracked, and that's something I've really tightened up on, especially the last, I'd say, year and a half, is the nutrition aspect. I've really dialed in on that, and I think that just comes with a bit more maturity as well with it as well, and just sticking to a plan. It's you're eating for fuel at the end of the day, not flavour. And I actually enjoy what I'm told to cook at the moment as well. So as long as you follow that diligently, and you're not trying to do your own thing with it, it's going to work,
mate. Like, strength and conditioning wise, are you lifting weights a couple of days a week, or?
So we do some weighted movements, but it's weighted movements with with movement. So it's not, I'm not sitting under a bench press or doing a squat. I'll never be doing that sort of stuff. After boxing, I'll give the cardio machines away, mate. You'll never see me on an assault bike again after boxing, or a ski erg. Like, they can go. But all that like, not many compound lifts or like traditional weights. It's all weighted stuff with movement and being explosive, and it's tailored to boxing. So that's how we run a lot of our conditioning, and then it's heavy cardio as well. Like,
how many days a week would you be doing? So you can imagine you're boxing every day, or at least 6 days a week, right?
I'll be fitting in some sort of conditioning most days as well. So it's we'll do 1 to 2 sprint sessions a week, probably another two longer runs.
What's a longer run for you at the moment?
Probably 10 Ks to Sometimes I'll throw in like really long ones, but between 8 to 15 Ks traditionally, and then every now and then, like once or twice through camp, I might do like a half marathon or something, like just to
bit of mongrel.
Just do something different, So if I've got nothing on for the rest of the afternoon or whatever, like Christmas Day this year, like, it was just go for a long run. I was like, right, I'm gonna go do a half marathon. I've got nothing to do on Christmas this year. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go for a big run. So I done that Christmas morning. Just like when I feel like it. But it's nothing really less than 8 Ks. And even our sprints, some of our sprint sessions, man, like you're racking up the Ks on them. Like they're some of them are 1,500 meter sprints, and you're doing 6 of them or 5 of them, and so it's by the end of it, you're absolutely cooked. You're like, man, I might as well have done a long run. You're just sure on the hammer for that long, but it's good.
I love the conversation around discipline, and to each individual person, discipline looks different, right? One thing that I think is interesting is I've probably labelled myself as a disciplined person over the course of the last couple of years because I've kept a relative consistency to doing challenging stuff. But you start to notice that your discipline can become a little bit performative because there's things that come more naturally to some of us than it does to others. And for me in particular, I found getting out for those sprint sessions and those hard interval sessions to come with much more resistance than going out for a typically longer run.
Yeah.
It's kind of flipped on its head the opposite way the last 6 months, which is funny. But if you think of discipline in, I think it's Tyson's definition of doing something you don't particularly love as if you love it.
You love it, yeah.
Yeah. What are those things for you that don't come easy that you really have to employ that kind of discipline?
I think I've always, it's never, getting out and training's never been sort of like, there's definitely days where, you wake up and you don't want to do, go and get absolutely flogged in the gym, but, you just got to roll out of bed and do it. It's almost like just not thinking about it and just, being where you're meant to be. But I think the nutrition aspect is something, I've found a lot easier in, like I said, the last year and a half. I've been a lot more dialed in. Probably the first 2 weeks of camp is the hardest, where you're so far out or whatever, and it's just almost like, I'll add this in or whatever. But now it's pretty smooth sailing with that sort of stuff. I think it's just when you've got a job to do, I think it's pretty easy to drop everything else. For me, I think it's nothing else really matters at that point. It's I find discipline's probably the hardest to keep when you don't have anything coming up. I think that's when it's almost a struggle, where it's like, well, I can do this, I can do that, or I can eat this, and it's I think that's probably the toughest part about boxing, is to try and do the right thing when you don't have anything coming up, because when you do and you've got a fight in front of you and you're at this level, like, you got your own goals that drive you, but you also got a bloke that's that's scaring you every time you wake up out of bed, and you want to beat him desperately. So I think that makes it a lot easier to have that sort of that discipline and to have that motivation each day. So it's I think it's the outside of boxing where life's a bit more normal and there's nothing on the horizon for a few weeks where you can get a little distracted with whatever else.